I think the feeling that many Germans have had and are reluctant to say out loud, given Germany's own history, is that they feel that they've lost control of their country. By her unilateral action in allowing this wave of refugees to come into Europe, she definitely exposed Germany and others to the risk of terrorism.
John Bolton is still under consideration to be Deputy Secretary of State today with a very blunt assessment of German Chancellor Angela Merkel's policies towards migration and the possible connection that he's at least trying to make between what happened in Berlin last night. California Congressman Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, joins me now and has been briefed. And I know you have to be careful about what you say, but do we know yet, do we have any notion, first of all, they don't even know that they have the right man, but whether this was an act inspired by ISIS or Al-Qaeda, both have recommended using trucks in this lethal way, or whether this is a lone actor?
We don't know yet. There hasn't been a claim of responsibility, no even claim that this was a soldier of the caliphate. So we don't know yet. What I can tell you is that we've had intelligence for quite some time about potential terrorist attacks in Europe. Germany was certainly one of the foremost targets. And as November, you'll remember the State Department put out a warning, which now looks very prescient, saying that Americans ought to be careful in holiday street festivals, that terrorists may use unconventional means, like vehicles, like we saw in Nice. So that warning, which was based on intelligence, turned out to be all too accurate, and we have seen this tragedy. It certainly looks like it may have been in response, or at least inspired by those calls by ISIS and Al-Qaeda.
Now, so far, the incoming transition, Michael Flynn at the NSC, they have not announced a replacement for the assistant at the NSC on terror and homeland security. It's a position held now by Lisa Monaco, held previously by Fran Townsend under George W. Bush. There are reports that there is a consideration of not replacing that person, of having Michael Flynn do it all. Is it possible to be National Security Advisor and also be in charge of the whole counterterror effort? What would be your takeaway? Well,
it's possible. It's, I don't think, a very
advisable?
No, I don't think it's a very good idea. It's a big job just to have your focus on counterterrorism, and I think that ought to occupy someone's every waking moment. That's in a very high position within the White House. The National Security Advisor is going to have enough on their plate with everything going on around the world. So that would concern me. But there are a lot of rumors going around. There have been rumors going around that they may want to do away with the whole Directorate of National Intelligence. And that may be why they've taken some time to find a candidate for that office if they don't think that office is going to be around that long. I think that would also be a mistake. But right now we're just operating on rumor and tweet.
Rumor and tweet at the same time as the Russian hacking is a serious issue. It's been reported exclusively by NBC News. My colleague Cynthia McFadden tying it directly to Vladimir Putin. Now there's confirmation at the highest level, President Obama making that very clear at his news conference. And still no true acknowledgement from the incoming administration of Putin's role.
No, that's true, and it's very disturbing because the evidence is quite overwhelming. I don't know anyone, Democrat or Republican, that's seen the intelligence that has any doubt about Russian involvement in the hacking of our institutions and the dumping of information and the meddling in our elections. There may be debate about the Russian motives. I don't think there is among our agencies, but there may be among members. But for the president-elect to continue to deny the obvious, I think does himself damage, does damage to our intelligence community. Ultimately, we're going to have to count on him when he is the president. When there's a crisis, when he wants to take action involving North Korea or Iran or Russia or China, and he's going to come before the country and say this is on the basis of intelligence, that we're going to want to believe him, we're going to need to believe him. But he's making that very difficult.
Can this be investigated by the bipartisan committees, or does it need to be an outside commission like the 9/11 Commission?
Well, I think the idea of a commission is a good idea. I don't think the two have to be mutually incompatible, though. What I've been urging our chairman and others is that we do something jointly with the Senate so that the agencies don't have to come in before multiple bodies, and that so that we don't have to get potentially different takes, and that we can come to a united conclusion on what happened. That's the only way it's going to be valuable. If at the end of the day the American people have faith that we arrived at our conclusions objectively, And let me just say, Andrea, you know, with respect to the political dynamic here, look, there is responsibility here both parties need to accept. On the Republicans' side, Donald Trump's embrace of Russia, his willingness to basically give the Russians deniability for their hacking, made it very lethal and dangerous and destructive. But Democrats have to own the fact. A lot of this was public during the election, and we didn't succeed in telling the American people why they should care about Russian meddling in their election. And that's on us. So there's plenty of responsibility to go around, but we need to, going forward, have a bipartisan, thoroughly objective effort to tell the American people just what happened, why it happened, and what we're doing to prevent it in the future.
Adam Schiff, thank you very much. And if I don't see you, happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas.